Hi YouTube people, how are you? Welcome to my newest video where I will be talking about 9 things. You know the number 9, 369 by Nikola Tesla. I have 9 things that I have learned in my 20s that I want to tell you all about. Maybe that I can help other people with. Maybe not who aren't people who aren't even in their 20s, but people who are still struggling with some of these things, learning some of these things as I still am. I haven't perfected some of these things. Some of them I have, but there's still a lot to go. The reason why I'm doing this video is because we have about 7 minutes actually until it is my birthday. It is currently, hold on. It is currently, can you guys see this? Oh, you guys probably can't see this. This is like Cleopatra in the picture. But maybe if I, hold on. Lord. Child, these phones be doing the most. Okay, so I don't know how to change down the brightness, but anyways, it is currently 11:54. So we have about 5 minutes until it is my birthday, and it's a special birthday, you guys, because it's my 30th birthday, which means I am officially out of my 20s. And to be honest, I know a lot of people feel like really anxious about this time of their age. But I feel good. I've always felt older than my age, so to be able to say I'm 30 is kind of bittersweet. First of all, I'm grateful to be able to say I'm 30 and to be able to say I made it this far, because a lot of people I know, unfortunately, haven't, been able to make it this far. A lot of people I went to elementary school with, and things of that nature, and family members, unfortunately, have passed on, so it's an amazing feat to be able to say I'm still alive and I've made it to 30. It's the number 3, so 3 is associated with Jupiter. It's about expansion, good luck, optimism, change, taking risks, taking chances. So it is a big number, but I'm grateful that I also look younger than my age. A lot of people don't think I'm 30, or when they find out I'm 30, I'm like, oh, okay, you look good for your age. So, I'm grateful for that. But now that I'm 30, now that 2021 is coming to a close, a lot of change has happened in my life, and I'm just kind of like, usually I do something, some kind of special, like, memoriam for my birthdays, but, usually my thing is to go live, but I just didn't feel like going live this year. And if you notice, I didn't go live a lot this year. I don't know, I just haven't felt the live vibe. Um, but I've been enjoying more pre-recorded content. So, anyways, let's get into the 9 things. By the way, I'm available for personal readings if you want a personal reading from me. I am, of course, a psychic, an energy channeler, a tarot reader, an astrologer, and I do mediumship readings if you want to connect to your ancestors and spirit guides. I do psychic tarot readings, of course, if you have any questions. I also do natal chart, birth chart readings if you want to learn about your sun, moon, rising, and all placements in between. I do past life readings if you want to know about your past lives. And I do candles and so much more. So if you'd be interested in any of those things, check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. I'm available for readings, and I'd love to read for you. Thank you to those. My birthday is on December 27th, so thank you to those who have been getting readings, during the Christmas holidays. It's interesting. This year I stayed at home for Christmas, and I'm fine with that because we're still going through this panorama. And I'm just like, for myself and others, my family members I love, especially my grandparents, like I want them around for a long time. And with this panorama, we don't really know the symptoms sometimes, so it's just like, it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm going to stay home, where my own germs are, my own, cleanliness I know is, and things of that nature. So hopefully next year will be better, when it comes to those types of things. Let's go ahead and get into the topic. So, 4 minutes until I'm officially 30. By the way, I was born at 9 p.m., like 9 something p.m. So it says the number 1 thing that I have here is to learn to be alone. These are the 9 things I learned in my 20s. The number 1 thing I learned in my 20s is to learn to be alone and to kind of love it. Like, you need to learn to be alone and appreciate it and love it, because truth be told, a lot of people are fortunate enough in their lifetime to not be alone always, or to like never be alone. They have a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. They have their family around. They have, maybe even pets or something like that. They have neighbors. But other people are kind of loners by nature, and by nature are kind of like, I guess you could say, forced to live life alone in a way, right? Or forced to go through life alone. I'm the latter. Like, a large part of my life, and I've tried to make friends with people, friends and me don't always click, for some reason. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I'll figure that out in my 30s. Um, Relationships wise, I've never really had a serious relationship at all in my 20s. I dated, I had fun, I had experiences, I learned lessons, but I never had a serious relationship in my 20s. For the large part of my 20s, I was alone. I've lived alone. This is my first apartment. I've had my apartment. I've lived here, ever since I moved here. In college, I lived alone. When I lived with my family, I felt alone. So, like, and the thing is you're born alone unless you're a twin. But even twins, it's like one twin's born first and then the other. You're born alone. You die alone. At some period in your life, you're gonna have to learn to be alone. The best time to learn it, because also during your 20s, when you spend time alone, you really get to figure yourself out. So, to be honest, even though during the entirety of my 20s, I hated being alone, and I tried to, at some point, especially from my early 20s to my mid 20s, I tried to like completely like avoid loneliness and being alone. Now that I'm 30, I really appreciate learning to be alone. All right, because it's saved me a lot of anxiety and fear, and I know that if I can live alone and if I can do life alone, then I'm good. Because at the end of the day, all I've got is myself. That's how I've been taught to be up until this point. Now, when I get a husband and a partner, at some point I'm going to have to learn to not be alone and to incorporate that person in my life. But until now, learn to be alone, learn to love it. Number 2, and this is one of the ones that I'm still like mastering. Sorry, I was talking so much I didn't realize the camera was kind of like bogging down. But the second one I'm still trying to master is save money for a rainy day. Now, I'm in my 30s. I'm at my Saturn return, so I realize that like I have to save my money. I'm at a point in my career now where I have to pay taxes. Up until this point, I was so used to getting taxes back. Like, I've had jobs, until before I got to YouTube. Like, I worked at Bed Bath & Beyond, child. I delivered pizzas. And, those types of jobs, I worked in corporate America. With those types of jobs, taxes are taken out of your money. Now I'm at a point where I'm working for myself. I don't really work for anyone else except for Google, I guess. And things of that nature and the other platforms that I have. But now it's like I have to pay my own taxes. So I've learned the importance of saving money. I've learned the importance of frugality. I've learned that it's totally okay, especially in 2021 after the panorama, to thrift shop, and to be frugal, because another mate's trash is another mate's treasure. Like, I've learned, and these are also things I learned in college, because especially my last year of college, I had to pay rent. Because I was determined my super senior year of college to not live in the dorms anymore. So I ended up rooming with my friend Daniel Potez. By the way, Daniel, if you're watching, because I know he still watches, shout out, or if his friends watch, because I know sometimes he like tells people to watch me. I love Daniel Potez. That was like, that was a point in my life where I learned to like pay my bills and, pay rent and things like that, and, like work a job and work school. So, but I have to say that I'm like still learning to master saving money. I've had my experiences, I've had my ups and downs. You have to also understand that I came to YouTube, and I guess money, even though I'm not making near as much as I would like, I'm making more than I thought I would, and probably more than I would make, to be honest, in my field at this point in my life than I would in corporate America. I went to school. I graduated from VCU in 2016, which is a university. I got an undergraduate degree, a bachelor's degree in advertising and communications and mass communications and graphic design. Very, very tough field to work in. I probably assume in this panorama that we're in. But I do have some friends that are doing quite well for themselves. So anyways, I say all that to say, no matter how well you're doing for yourself, save money for a rainy day, period. The number three thing I have is invest in a career that you love. Now, like I was saying before, I kind of stumbled onto YouTube. I kind of always knew I wanted to do YouTube. Like I told you guys before, for those of you that watched my documentary, I've talked about how I was doing YouTube when I was like a teenager. But I was posting sim videos. I wasn't doing what I was doing now. But even when I was doing that, I learned the algorithm of YouTube and posting on YouTube and things of that nature. So I always also knew that I wanted to work for myself. I ended up getting a degree. Through working odd jobs such as Bed Bath & Beyond, such as, pizza delivery, such as other odd jobs that I would have. I worked at a dance theater for a little while. I learned that I don't like working for other people. I don't necessarily like having a schedule set for me because I don't know how I'm going to feel on any given day, especially being an empath and a spiritualist like me. Some days I may be really going through it spiritually or emotionally, and I just like can't face people at customer service at Bed Bath and Beyond or even on the phone, So I've had odd jobs, but it's through those experiences that I realized, I really love working for myself. I really love what I do on YouTube. I really love having my own clients that I can build relationships with, that come to me continuously, whether they come to me every week, every month, every few months, or every year, whatever it is, because I have clients that come to me at different rates. I really like, being able to have my own schedule in terms of posting. I really like being creative because I've always been that way. I really like my career on YouTube. And then that's expanded now into me having my own podcast, me having my own Patreon, me having my own website, me having classes and things of that nature. So it's really expanded into something I love, and it all started from something I love doing, which is YouTube. What I'm doing right now, talking to the camera, posting on YouTube, trying to figure out the algorithm, experimenting, and things of that nature. The next one that I have is maintain your health. There is such a thing as the freshman 15. For a lot of people, it's not just the freshman 15, sis. It's like the freshman 45, the freshman 50, the freshman 100. I mean, I was one of those people that went past the 15. Going into college, my freshman year, I was really fit. I was going to the gym often. Somewhere down the line, I got stressed. I maybe experienced some trauma, and I stopped going to the gym. I stopped taking care of myself. And I'm still, in 2021, today at age 30, trying to get to a healthier place. Weight-wise and physicality-wise, because I haven't always been overweight. To be honest with you guys, in high school, I did track and field. I've always been a really fit guy, but you go through life, you go through things, and you forget to maintain your health. And especially with your 20s, you think you're invincible a lot of times, and you think, oh, I can eat this pizza, eat this pasta and be fine tomorrow, but it's like you have to maintain your health, especially as you get into your 30s, because as you get older, it gets harder to maintain your health and to lose weight and things like that. So maintain your health, very, very important. Today at age 30, I would say for the past year, maybe even for the past 6 months specifically, I've been going to the gym every day. I usually like going at a certain time when there's like not really anyone there, because sometimes I do get recognized, and to be honest with you, I'm not someone that's like really big into the fanfare kind of thing. I really like being low-key, and it kind of makes me a little bit paranoid sometimes when I see someone staring at me, and it's like, oh my god, do they know me from YouTube? Do I look a hot mess? Oh my god, did I put deodorant on before I left the house? Like, it's just a lot to deal with, so... But I do stick to going to the gym every day. My issue is, my diet. I don't always, I'm not going to say I don't always eat the best food. It's just, when I do eat, I don't eat a lot, but when I do eat, I don't always watch what I eat. I will go on a carbohydrate overdrive, pasta, some sort of meat, maybe some mashed potatoes or something like that, but no greens or anything like that. And then it's like not to a couple of days where it's I haven't had greens in a while. I've been taking my multivitamins, I've been taking my vitamins and supplements, but dang, I need some greens. It's been a while. So maintain your health, not just physically, being active, but also watching what you eat, making sure you drink water, stuff like that. The next one is kind of controversial, but to be honest, based on my experience, I still agree with it. Number 5 is get a degree if you can. Now, to be honest, could I have done YouTube and become successful on YouTube without a degree? Probably. But to be completely honest with you, I don't think I would have been able to be as successful as I've been on YouTube to the degree that I have, no pun intended, without having a degree, or my specific degree. This goes back to having a career, pursuing a career that you love. I've always known that I wanted to be a business owner, do my own thing. I've always known that I've wanted to be in the creative field. Before I got into YouTube, I was really big into filmmaking and stuff like that. And when I first started college, I had a business degree. As you get deeper into certain degrees and tracks, you realize this might not be for me. So I ended up switching into a creative degree, which was creative advertising. I learned a lot of things in that degree that has helped me immensely with my current YouTube career. The biggest thing is marketing. learning Adobe Photoshop, among like, and also like learning how to do a full campaign in terms of advertising. These three things are probably, I would say, the major components of my success on YouTube. And I don't think I would have, maybe I would have learned them on my own, but I don't think I would have been able to learn them as efficiently as I did without going to school, without getting a degree. And it's also something I can fall back on. To be honest, I think I'm pretty set in my career as a tarot reader, as an astrologer, and I can expand from here as a YouTuber, as an internet influencer, whatever you want to call me. But if worse ever came to worse, I could always fall back on my degree, and that's still something I think about. I still think about getting my master's, which I think I might do at some point. But I also still think about, like, I kind of want to do something with my degree. Like, I don't know if I want to do my own advertising business or what it is, but, like, you know, get a degree if you can. You can always fall back on it no matter what. Number 6 is learn yourself. Now, this is what your 20s are about. Your 20s are about learning yourself, learning who you are, learning your likes, learning your dislikes, learning your traumas, your triggers, and things like that. Like learning about yourself. That's what your 20s is about, and that kind of goes back to learning to be alone. When you learn to be alone, you spend that time learning to be alone and appreciating being alone, learning about yourself, really. All right. And I think by the time you get to your 30s, you need to know yourself a little bit. Like, not saying you have to know yourself totally, like, you know, but, like, no, you, coming out of your 20s, you need to know yourself enough to, like, know what you want, know what you don't want, know what's good for you, know what's not good for you, know when you're wasting your time, when you're not wasting your time. Otherwise, you don't want to keep repeating a lot of the same things you experienced in your 20s. It's 12:11 right now. At officially the age of 30, do I want to be experiencing a lot of the things that I experienced at the age of 20? Excuse my French, but hell no. All right? The age of 20, 28, 29 doesn't matter. Like, I'm in my 30s and it's a new decade. It's a new me. And I'm appreciative for the time I spent alone, because I feel like the time I spent alone, I learned a lot about myself. You know, and that goes back to the last point too, but we're almost going to get there. Number 7, try new things. In your 20s, you know, they say it's your time to try new things, you know, like, you know, get that job, you know, travel, you know, move across the country. Like, you know, don't be afraid to do these new things, you know, like, I've seen a lot of friends, you know, like, travel across the country and move here and move there, and I think it's all a part of finding yourself, you know, like, I've taken different odd jobs, I've learned a lot of different things, you know, and to be honest with you, like, the good, the bad, it all, like, you know, like, all the different things I tried, like, it kind of made me who I am. And once again, it helped me to learn myself, which was the previous point. Like, it helped me to learn what I liked, what I didn't like, and things of that nature. So try new things, watch new content on social media and the TV, like, be open to those types of things, because in your 20s, that's how you learn yourself. Number 8 is don't be afraid to move on. All right, like, I know that's the hardest part in your 20s, because in your 20s, for me particularly, like, you think everything is permanent, everything is going to be the way it is forever. That's not the case. One thing, something could be one way a week, you know, for a week, but then literally that next week it could completely change. You know, I was unfortunate enough to lose my father at a young age when I was 18. And in my mind, there's life before that moment when I was like when I knew my father passed away, and there's life after that moment. You know, and it's like literally like that, at the blink of an eye, your life can change. So don't be afraid to move on. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to let a friendship go, a town, city, state go, a boyfriend, a girlfriend go, a situationship, a hookup, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to move on. It's not going to be that way forever, all right? My last thing is that you are stronger than you think. There's nothing like your 20s to help you to realize the heartbreak you go through, the triggers and trauma you go through and experience, that helps you to realize that you're stronger than you think, because you overcome those traumas and those triggers and that heartbreak, and then you get to another experience that's like really difficult, and then you realize, wait, no, I've been through something either more difficult, more traumatic than this, or something similar, and I made it through. So I know I'm strong enough to make it through this, right? And that's something I can take with me in my 30s. It's like, you know, in my 20s, I went through this, I went through that. Now that I'm in my 30s, I know myself, you know, I've been through some things, I've experienced some things. I know I can make it through this. And the biggest part is I know that I can make it alone, all right? You can make it through anything alone. You know, and I had support around me when I was with my dad, when my dad died. But at the same time, in terms of my own emotions and processing that, like I went through that alone. So you kind of have to look at that, like, you know, like, are you running from being alone? And I think that's what a lot of people are in their 20s. They're running from being alone. And it gets you into a lot of deep waters. So, how long has this video been, you guys? Oh my god, you guys, this has been my nine, alright, points of things I learned in my 20s that I'm taking with me in my 30s that I want you all to learn as well. And to any of my 20-somethings out there, know that it's not going to be this way forever. Eventually, you will get to the other side, and you will be appreciative. You will be bittersweet. You will realize the mistakes you've made, but also the wins you've made, the successes you've had, all right? So I encourage you all to keep going. And I just encourage you all to continue on your spiritual journey, all right? Like, age ain't nothing but a number, but a dollar ain't nothing but a thing. I don't know if those are the lyrics, but the point is, age ain't nothing but a number. Just because you're 60, just because you're 30, just because you're 25 doesn't mean that you've reached the pinnacle of life. There's always more to learn, there's always more to do, there's always more to grow. And I just wanted to come and talk about that really quickly. All right, you guys. Alright, you guys, I feel like I've talked enough. It is my birthday, so I'm going to go celebrate. I think I'm going to celebrate particularly with a little glass of wine. Alright, so don't judge me. You guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you all got something out of this video. If you would like a personal reading from me, definitely check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. Also, if you want to Cash App or donate to me, let me put my Cash App on the screen, child. If you would like to Cash App for my birthday, this is my Cash App. I'm going to move it to this side. $ Lamarr Townsend Tarot. You don't have to Cash App, but if you would like to, it is up there. I know sometimes you guys are like, what's your Cash App? What's your PayPal and stuff like that. I do prefer Cash App, so. Alright, you guys, thank you so much. Happy birthday to my other Capricorns out there. December Capricorns especially. Shout out to us. I love you all, and I hope you got something out of this video. Excuse me, I'll see you in your own personal reading. I'll see you in the next video. Either way, I will see you soon. Love and light. God bless, and Happy New Year.